Every year, nearly 1.5 million students in India graduate with a bachelor's degree in engineering. The majority of you who are watching this right now are pursuing engineering itself. We come across subjects like engineering mathematics, engineering physics, or engineering electronics. However, have you ever heard of engineering happiness? Well, unfortunately, that's not in our curriculum. See, I got you reason to watch this live stream till end. Well, today we have the one who depicts the value of a true human in every sense, an idealist, reflecting his outstanding work in the corporate world, who not only humanizes excellence, but also induces a sense of contentment through his visionary endeavors of exhibiting happiness as a success coach. He is the founder of Happiness Technology, also a corporate happiness and a peak performance mentor for organizations to reign supremacy in respective fields. We are highly privileged to have one of the top 51 global happiness leaders among us today. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Doctor of Happiness, Dr. Arun Bharadwaj.
Thank you very much, Arjun, for that very kind introduction. Good evening to everyone, all the friends joining. I am a product of NIT Hamirpur, which is now National Institute of Technology Hamirpur, and it's an honor and privilege that I'm getting this opportunity to be speaking to all of you, the youngest of generation that will be coming out of NIT Hamirpur. I'm going to utilize some of the presentation slides to get the conversation started, and then intent is to keep this as a very interactive session, and I hope you have a lot of questions and a lot of curveballs and a lot of bouncers to throw at me. And my intent would be to keep this session very interactive. So just to share, engineering happiness, as in the introduction it was mentioned, I was engineering technology solutions for 25 years worldwide, but then life took a turn, and then I decided that it's time that in addition to helping organization engineer solutions for technology, I will do something different that is more meaningful to life. At least that's what I believe. Life is a journey from good to great. And I hope today whatever I share with you will give you some food for thought. And my request to all of you is, don't take my words as gospel, neither ignore them. What I'm sharing with you is not read from the books. It's from the book of my own life and experiences. I would invite you to reflect on whatever thoughts I share with you in your own life and see if you can utilize my wisdom into your life. Let's start the journey from good to great. Whenever these days our phone or laptop shows low battery, we run towards the power socket as if our life depended on these things. And when was the last time you did that to yourself? Is there a method for you to recharge, rejuvenate yourself? We all know that whenever we are I'm having a little bit of technical difficulty. Just a minute, please, because this is, I think, sharing is not working. Divyam, are you able to see my slides?
Yes, sir. Your slides are very well visible to us.
Okay, because I'm not able to move after sharing. Just a minute. We all know that for our laptop, desktop, mobile phone, we want our operating system to be up to date. As soon as the new patch comes, new upgrade comes, we upgrade it immediately because we don't want that virus to infect our operating system. We want to utilize all the latest and greatest features of that operating system on our phone and laptop. So all of us know and all of us are conscious of upgrading our operating system. But what about another operating system which is even more important? So this sharing is resulting in blank slides.
Yes, so maybe you can try without giving it
Yes,
as a presentation and just keep it in space.
yes, I'll do that.
Yes.
And the greatest operating system that we ignore to upgrade is our own self. So today, the conversation is not going to be telling you about Android and Apple or Windows operating system or other fancy operating systems you have these days. It is going to be all about upgrading our inner operating system, because I think that's the one that makes the most difference. And this is the operating system that interprets everything that we have. Uh, that interprets everything that we see, that we sense through our sensory organs, and results in happiness or sadness. Unfortunately, as you heard from Arjun, there is no course that talks about it in our real life. And that was my challenge. And that's where my journey began. Classes teach us how to do the job, but not how to enjoy the job. All the curriculum is all about telling you how to make a living, not telling you how to live. It is to make you employable, how to make life employable, not how to make life enjoyable. And I wanted to make a difference. And I realized that everything that really matters to us depends on our inner operating system. And that's one subject that was never taught to us. Because if we want to live a fulfilled life, a joyful life, a contented life, then we ought to know how to optimize our inner operating system and how to put it in peak performance state. Now, question is, can happiness be engineered? Can we engineer happiness? And I've spent last 10 years, my research area, my PhD is actually on happiness and ancient wisdom. So I became so passionate about this topic. So answer is yes, we can engineer happiness. And I'll tell you in a minute why happiness is such an important topic. But before that, you must be curious to know my journey. After leaving REC in 93, I joined Indian Telephone Industries, which is not on this slide, but I joined Indian Telephone Industries. I'm from electronics and communication background. I started my journey with designing India's first digital telephone exchange here in Bangalore. Right now also I'm in Bangalore. After that I joined Motorola. Then I was with Samsung. I lived in Korea for 4.5 years. After that I moved to US. I was with Lucent Technologies, Bell Lab for almost 7-8 years. Came back to India in 2007-8, where I was heading Dell's product marketing and business alliances for 7-8 years. Quit everything in 2016 and started a company which is called Happiness Technology. And as I told you, now I'm engineering happiness worldwide. These are some of the companies I've worked with. And more importantly, I want to invite you to look at these pictures and live your passion, because when you live your passion, magic happens. And these are some of the things that I could only dream of as a corporate citizen. I had an opportunity to train Indian Army, those who are living at very high altitude area in Siachen, do some mental conditioning workshop for them, mindfulness workshops. I also have worked with Indian hockey team. I was a pro kabaddi Dabang Delhi mental conditioning coach for a season. So these are things that happen when you start living your passion. I've done extensive programs worldwide with students, academia, and of course corporates, touched probably more than 110,000 lives by now. I've also conducted program in Africa, Europe, and all this I'm sharing with you to show you a trajectory that engineering or any graduation that we do, that's a basic degree we require to refine our thought processes, to become mature. But after that, you can do whatever your heart says. You have to take a little bit of risk, but everything is possible. I have gotten opportunity to meet people, those who will not give you 5 minutes of their time for even lakhs of rupees. But just because I was living my passion, I was able to meet all these folks, right from corporate to political domains to spiritual domains, etc., etc. And those of you who are in electronics and communication, that right middle is Dr. Surinder Soni, your professor. I also had an opportunity to present in front of President of Namibia, In the middle is his First Lady of Namibia and President of the Reserve Bank of Namibia. So I had those opportunities. Now, how do these opportunities come to our life? All this is giving, so I'm just going to stop sharing so we can just have a rubaru conversation. All these opportunities because I started seeing a fundamental shift required in way of living. I grew up in an environment where it was very simple formula: work hard, be successful, and you'll be happy. So happiness was on the right side of the equation. Work hard, be successful, and you'll be happy. I'm pretty sure many of you or all of you would have also gone through the same thought process. First, you are in 10th and parents say, this is your defining year. Just work hard and you will get good admission in 11th, 12th. You'll get medical or non-medical or whatever. And then life ban gayi. फिर 12th आती है, 12th में भी यही बात दोबारा से दोहराई जाती है. एक बार अच्छे से मेहनत कर लो, you will get into some good engineering college, business school or something, and then life ban gayi. Then engineering में अच्छे से पढ़ लो, फिर उसके बाद में अच्छी जॉब मिल जाएगी, लाइफ बन गई. And this cycle continues because we believe that cause is success and effect is happiness. And I wanted to live a different life. And what I'm calling it now, this is the traditional mindset, and I'm experimenting and inviting you to experiment a different mindset. I call it happiness mindset, where living happy is not the effect, but the reason to live. That means try to enjoy every moment of your life. Start liking what you're doing or start doing what you're liking. So every moment you are living joyfully, because when you live joyfully, neurologically, scientifically, you are more creative, more innovative, because when you are happy, you are at your best. And when you are at your best, everything that you do is also of fine quality. And if you are not focused on working hard, people say that there's no alternative to working hard. And as many of you would agree with me, working smart is the alternative to working hard. So you live happy, do everything with passion, with joy. If that happens, you are going to be more creative. And if you are happy in doing what you are doing and you are more creative, outcome is going to be success. So see, in the happiness mindset, the second equation, happiness is not the reason. Outcome, it is the reason to live. It is how every moment should be enjoyed joyfully so you can be innovative, and success will become a journey. You will have experience of successes. You will not wait for success to happen to live a joyful or happy life. Okay, so what I wanted to share with you is this. Now, I'm pretty sure you have a question of, you might have this question, but how do we live a happy life? How do you create every moment to be a joyful moment? So what I would do, since the presentation is playing a game on us, it is kind of crashing. I will see if Divyam and Arjun, you have any questions, or we can start with a few questions that you might have in your mind, and then we can also take questions from the audience, so it becomes more interactive session.
Yes, sir, for sure, we'd like to do that. So this is my personal question. Like you mentioned, cause is the success and effect is the happiness. That is what we think. So
Yes.
According to you, is it vice versa? Like the cause is the happiness and then the effect that comes is the success?
Yes.
So you want to say it's the reverse, not as we think, right?
It is the reverse, and I'll tell you how. Let me share with you. I enjoy telling stories because stories are amazing. And my request to all of you are, whether it is my story or my session today, or you are sitting in a classroom or in any other lecture in future, I hope you will remember what I'm going to share with you right now. I'm going to take all of you, since my research area is ancient wisdom, I'm going to take all of you into ancient times, and just imagine that you are sitting in a Gurukul right now. And you are in a Gurukul where this sage is sitting on a platform telling you all these fancy things and stories. So in a Gurukul, students are frustrated and they go to Guru and they say, Guruji, what is this? We come to you with all these complex problems of our life, and for everything you give us a story. Are you trying to miniaturize our problems? And such a simple story. एक तो आप स्टोरी सुना देते हो हर बात के लिए, और उसके ऊपर हमको ये भी नहीं बताते हो कि what is the moral of the story. You make us find out the moral of the story. So now what that teacher told the students in Gurukul, I would like all of you to carry from me. The teacher says, see, I'm like a candle or a diya lamp. By itself, my value is only 50 rupees or 100 rupees. But in the light of the candle, you can find the keys to the treasures and joys in your own life. तो मैं आपको जो भी अभी बताने वाला हूं, अगर आप उसको सिर्फ एक स्टोरी की तरह सुनोगे, you will not reflect and see your life into it. It might even feel irrelevant. But what I invite all of you, my young friends, that today, whatever connects with you, think how it fits into your life. And once you reflect in your life, then these stories will become very meaningful. So let me start with my first story to answer Divyam's question. A man was hiking in a very tough terrain. It was cold, freezing, and he was walking. He was walking because up there was a mountain, and he wanted to be on the top of that mountain. That peak was his goal. And every time he was slipping, every time he was feeling tired, every time he was feeling like giving up, just a look at that peak and he would say, no, I want to go there. That's my goal. Now, by chance, one of his friends who was flying by in a helicopter passed by, and he saw that there's this person walking in such a tough terrain. Must be that crazy enough guy, my friend. So he lands his helicopter next to this man who is walking in the forest. He says, hey, what are you doing? You are so tired. You are almost falling. This man says, no. I'm determined. I want to go on the top of that hill. That's my goal. I want to reach there. The man says, oh, so your goal is to go on top of that mountain, to climb that peak? He says, yes, and I'm not going to give up. So the man says, okay then, why don't you join me? Come and sit in the helicopter. I'll drop you there on the peak. Now that man gets thinking, and let me ask all of you as well. Although many of you who are listening to us on YouTube or cannot directly interact with us, but still in your own mind you interact with me. Tell me if you are going to sit in that helicopter that time. What do you think, Divyam, Pravansh? Would you sit in that helicopter? Because the man is going to drop you in 2 minutes to the peak.
So to be honest, a guy like me, yeah, I would go for the helicopter. I don't want to do the hard work. I'll just go straight to the peak.
Very, very good. Very interesting. So your purpose, what you want to do is go on the top. Why? Why do you want to go on the top?
So because I can only assume that the view from top of there, it's going to be like a paradise, and that is what I am going for.
Okay.
It's the journey might also be very interesting and adventurous, but if I am climbing a mountain, that's for the view, and that I'll get it at the top of the mountain.
Beautiful. Pravansh, what would you sit in that helicopter?
Yes, sir. As a person, if I think of it, I would definitely sit on that because I would be thinking about that view, which I'll get from the top, and seeing all that space from there. That is simply mesmerizing.
So why did you even take that trek then? Then you should have asked for a helicopter and gone.
Yes, sir.
Yes, so that's...
You're valid. See, this is the beauty of story. If I told you the moral of the story, then we will all come with one answer. Right now, the human mind will get into work and will come out with different outcomes from the same story. And I'm pretty sure all of you listening to us would have also thought something. I personally would not sit because my purpose was to trek, to experience that ambience. Now, if Divyam or Purvansh, they are in love with photography and what they want is just a click from the top, of course they are going to sit into it. But that person like me was doing it because he used to love trekking, right? Suddenly it dawned on him that the goal is not to reach on the top. The goal is to enjoy the ambience, right? And what both of you suggested, for you, the goal is not to enjoy the ambience. For you, the goal was to go on the peak, right? And we have intermixed those goals. You did not think of your goal. You started walking. If goal was to go on the peak, you should have chosen an easier method of going there, right? And since I wanted to enjoy that ambience, then the goal is not actually to go on the peak. The goal is to enjoy the ambience. The peak is just a means of achieving my goal, right? What you wanted was a picture from that height. Peak was not important for you. And that's what happens in life for all of us mostly. What we think is our goal actually is just the means. And what is actually the means in reality is our goal, right? So happiness, we think, is the goal, but happiness is the means. Let me ask you one question. I am going to make a statement which changed my life. When we are happy, we are at our best. Yes or no? Right? When we are
Yes.
happy, we do everything better. Even if somebody is trying to fight with us, argue with us, curse us, we are going to be more joyful in handling that. We are not going to react, we are going to respond, because your own mindset is positive that time. When we are happy, we are at our best. Reverse is also true. When you are at your best, when you are feeling that you are expressing your creativity, you feel happy. So it's kind of a beautiful cycle, right? And this is why means actually is to achieve success. So we set these goals, but living life joyfully should be our end goal. Every day we should wake up and figure out, what am I going to do so day becomes livable? It is joyful. It is something that I'll enjoy so I can create new things. Okay? So now you understood. So cause is happiness. When happiness is the cause, effect becomes very beautiful. Everything becomes positive. I
Yes,
hope
sir.
I addressed that.
Yes, so that very well clears my doubt. But sir, I had the thing to say, like, we are from a generation where everything's been made so easy. Like, when
Yes.
you did your engineering, you did not have a lot of resources that we might have right now. So, sir, isn't that our generation has been brought up the way that our mindsets have become to sit in that helicopter? Like, again, we haven't worked as hard as you guys have to achieve what you have right now. We get like 90% of the stuff we get from our parents, or it's given to us by someone else, and we do not have to work much harder. And we're always brought up like to do the simplified thing, to use the resources and then do the stuff. So sir, would sitting in the helicopter is just like a basic mindset of our generation?
It is, because when I do, so I'm going to come to a little bit lighter note now. When I'm conducting all these programs, I'm talking about mindfulness, I'm talking about meditation, I'm talking about intuition, I'm talking about how do you focus, concentration, and the automatically final topic that's being discussed is stress and how do you come out of stress. So I give all these plans and processes and principles, and people, especially of the millennial generation, they say, sir, इतना कुछ क्यों करना है, बस एक 60 ml काफी है ना, सारा का सारा स्ट्रेस निकल जाता है ना, ज्यादा स्ट्रेस हो गया तो 120 मार लिया, उसमें क्या है. Now the way you guys are brought up is with the quick fix, right? आप लोग जो है Maggie 2-minute generation है, मतलब I'm generalizing, but in general I'm saying, because everything is so easily achievable now, right? The challenge with that is many of the youngsters are living a life of pleasure, right? And life of pleasure has a problem, because when we set our goals for pleasure, we easily achieve them, and these goals are self-centered. We become addicted to pleasures. So अगर वो 60 ml वाली फिर से एक analogy लें, I often tell people, yes, 60 ml is a very good solution, but challenge with that is you feel good for a few minutes or hour. Next morning when you wake up, your problems do not go away, and now you have a hangover as well, right? तो pleasure और joy या happiness में यही difference है. जो हम लोग short term का सोच के करते हैं वो pleasure दिलाता है, और जो long term का करते हैं वो happiness दिलाता है. Now, if you go within the body, there are two different chemicals actually. They are secreted in our body. Pleasure, when we set some short-term goals, when something gets easily achievable, and it is for me, there's a hormone that you guys might have heard of, dopamine. Dopamine is released, and dopamine is highly addictive. Dopamine is the same chemical that is released, or hormone, or it's actually a neurotransmitter that is released when we do drugs, when you do addictions. So addictions, they hurt you, you know that. And once people get addicted, the same amount of pleasure or drugs would not help you. You will keep increasing the quantity. You'll become more and more dependent. Now, there's a second hormone in our human body. It's called serotonin. It's called hormone of happiness. It's a neurotransmitter. Once again, you guys can search on Google. So dopamine versus serotonin. Serotonin is when you set higher goals. When you do something which is not just for you, but for humanity, for environment, for somebody else. When you help somebody without expecting anything back. That's the time when you actually experience joy, right? It's not instant. It is more of long-term sustainable. Now, the challenge is that your generation, as you said, A lot of things are very short term, right? The second thing that I want all of you to reflect on, I have a daughter, she's 8.5, 9 year old, so I can see in her also. We did not know things before experiencing them. For example, मुझे पहली बार जब ocean देखने को मिला तो we got so crazy that I was 23 years old. After I had finished RSC, I was coming to Bangalore, and meanwhile we thought we'll go via Chennai ताकि हम लोग ocean देख सकें. And when we saw ocean, we were so overwhelmed because we had never experienced. We had only seen in few movies, and that's about it. We did not know the molecular biology of ocean. You guys know everything before experiencing. तो जब हम लोगों ने देखा, we were so crazy. We just jumped in, not remembering that it's going to be salty water. And you can imagine how we were walking all the way back to Bangalore from Chennai, right? All मतलब टांगे बिल्कुल straight हुई हुई है, pants जो है बिल्कुल hardened हो गई थी. So you folks know before you experience, and that sometimes reduces the amount of joy you get out of life. ठीक है? एक final thing मैं कहने चाहता हूँ. It's very close to my heart. We as a parent are also not doing favor to you as a young generation. Because everything is so easily available. Our generation, fortunately, is a transition generation. Before our generation, parents were struggling to make ends meet. हमारी generation, I think, because of software का धन्यवाद और multinationals आ गई, हम लोग बाहर जाने शुरू हो गए. So financially, we are secure, but we are busy. We don't have time. So because we don't have time for the young generation, we pamper you guys. Whatever you want, we give you. The challenge is by the time you are 25, you have nothing to look forward to. Right? And then you guys say, "Arey yaar, bore." I mean, the scariest word that I hear from my daughter is, "Papa, bore ho gaye. I'm getting bored." Right? So, isliye, start living a life of experiences. Second, since we talked about this drug addiction and all, I don't want to leave it as an open-ended question. Start thinking about consequences of your actions. जो मैं कर रहा हूं, जो मैं कर रही हूं, what will be the short-term consequence? What will be the long-term consequence? It is because we only look at short-term returns that we fall in trap to enjoy pleasures and get addicted to those pleasures, and they hurt us. When you start thinking of consequences of your action and long-term effect of whatever you are doing, you will start seeing a transition from life of pleasure to life of happiness and joy.
So on this note, I have to ask you this. You see students of this era and the students from your batch. So what are the changes that you see in those two eras? And on the other side, what are the things that have remained constant over these years?
So I think first part of, एक तो ये है कि you folks have information overload, right? So one of the challenges, how do you focus? Like I told you, I deal with army, I deal with sports teams, I deal with corporates and all that. One of the most important thing that you have to learn, we have to learn, not only you, I also have to, how do we focus? And that's why this buzzword has become very, very popular these days, what is called mindfulness. Mindfulness is nothing but our capability to put our focus and maintain it at a desired object, thought, or situation, right? And you will agree with me, if not 100%, a large number of youngsters have problem in maintaining focus. So many things are happening in life that you're not able to focus on one thing. And that becomes one of the biggest reason for stress, right? Now, second part of it is the previous generation, we did not have information. Just imagine if somebody was doing PhD, like my sister did PhD, and she had to write thesis. How do you search information when you don't have Google? Just imagine. You have to go to libraries. You don't know which book to pick. You have thousands of books. And in that book, which page will have information which will be relevant to you? In fact, when we were in REC, I was there in REC from 89 to 93. Google still was not there. There was no search algorithms. There was nothing for searching. Netscape also came later. No browser, nothing. So we had to go through books and find out information. So you can see what I could do in a month. Probably you will take a couple of hours to do it. So you guys have a lot of information. You have capability to utilize information instantly. What I mean by that, if something is invented in US today, within the next couple of hours, you would know about it. Something you do today, world would know in a couple of hours. For us, it'll take like weeks and months and all that. So I think you folks have a greater opportunity to excel. Now the question is, are you going to utilize that opportunity? One thing that has not changed is, in our time also, most of us said, "Sir, ये बता दीजिए कि syllabus में क्या क्या है." और कौन सी किताब से कौन से पेजेस पढ़ने हैं और 5 इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन कौन से हैं. वो तब भी वैसे ही था और मेरे ख्याल से अब भी वैसा ही है. And I invite all of you to think life is beyond that. So that probably you will have few questions around that also. But what I want to invite you to think, मैंने MBA US से किया है, उसके बाद में I have taught there also, I have learned few, I did some more courses also. One of the biggest thing that we need to learn, and you all need to learn, it's not what you know. You know, who cares किसी आदमी ने फलानी डेफिनेशन के बारे में क्या कहा, न्यूटन का थर्ड लॉ कौन सा है. Just with a click of a button you guys can find all that information, right? It doesn't need to be in your memory to put all the garbage. What you need to learn is how do you put this information into action so you can utilize it for some meaningful purpose. So वो जो derivation of equation and all that, I think time has gone. अभी तो वो मतलब just one click and you have all that. हमारे टाइम में ऐसा नहीं था. So I think these are some of the challenges and opportunities for you guys.
Definitely.
So for now, I guess those were pretty much all the questions summed up. Would you like to go on with your presentation, or should we continue with the session?
Yeah, presentation is crashing. So I think this platform here, Meet, is having some challenge, and I have what do you call Mac. So I don't know if it is a Mac combination with PowerPoint or what is happening. Just a minute. So are there any questions on the?
Yes, sir.
On the web.
Okay, sir. So we wanted to ask you this. You've named your company as Happiness Technologies. So what is the whole idea behind that?
Okay, let me start with the story once again. And you guys might have heard it also, but I think it's a nice one. In a class, teachers asking all the students, what do you want to be when you grow up? And somebody says engineer, doctor, astronaut, scientist, and all that. One girl, she's sitting quietly. And teacher says, you're not saying anything. What do you want to be when you grow up? And she says, I want to be happy. And the teacher says, oh, no, I don't think you understood my question. And the little girl smiles and says, ma'am, I surely understood your question, but I don't think you understand life. Let me ask you one question, all of you sitting and listening, joining us and listening. Why do we do whatever we do? Even before that, let me tell you one more thing. See, what is life? Life is a journey of making decisions. It's a journey of making choices. You got this invite, you had a choice whether to join this or not. You made a choice that you wanted to join this webinar. I'm sharing these stories and I'm inviting you to reflect upon them. Some of you might choose, some of you might not. Again, you have a choice of making a decision. And like that, every morning when you wake up, life will throw these questions at you, situations at you, events at you, and you will have an opportunity to decide and act. And how you decide and how you act is going to define your life. How you think, how you feel, how you act creates your personality. If you guys are habitual of writing notes, this is one of the things that is missing now. No notes writing. We used to write ferocious notes. How you think, how you feel, how you act creates your personality. And your personality creates your personal reality. So if you want to change your personal reality, you want to live a different life that you're living today, or you aspire to live certain different kind of environment or create certain kind of environment in your life, you have to change your personality, because your personality changes your personal reality. So how you think, feel, and act, that needs to change. Now my question to you is, what motivates our actions? Why do we do what we do? Why are we even sitting in this webinar? So you would say, go ahead.
So there's always a hope for happiness and knowledge. That are two basic things that drive us towards anything. If we do not see any knowledge or happiness, we wouldn't go for it. So either of the two.
No, even the knowledge. See, knowledge, why do you want to gain knowledge? You say, I want to live my life better. Why do you want to live your life better? Because I can make more money, I can find better job. Why? So I can take care of my family. Why? So if I do 5 whys, in the end you will say, because I want to live happy. So I realized, if everything in the end is about happiness, so what am I doing all this, right? Now the second part of it is, when you're, I'm not saying in the initial part of our career, but once you reach 35, you have worked for 10 years or so, suddenly these thoughts start creeping up in your mind. what is my significance? I'm successful. I'm making a lot of money. I'm successful by the definition of this social structure. I feel that I have achieved what I want to do. But what is my significance? How am I contributing to the world? How what am I doing is making a difference in the world? And when that thought comes to your mind, life starts transforming. It starts bothering you. And for me, I could not see how what I'm doing with the corporates is making a difference in anyone's life up there, right? So ultimately, when I started analyzing this in my own life, I realized that ultimately everything we are doing is about happiness. So I thought, why to take this long path, and in the end, when I'll be 55, 60, then start saying I want to live a happy life? Why not research it now and start with life now? And but there's the engineering mind, and I didn't want to just sit, close my eyes, and keep meditating for years. I wanted to take a little bit of control in my hand and say, can we create an environment that will help in experiencing that state, what is called happiness? And that's how this term engineering happiness was born. Can we engineer environment in our life so we can experience this feeling, which is called happiness, more often? See, I cannot make you happy, and you cannot make me happy, because happiness is a feeling. It has to come from within. But I can help you create an environment in your life. For example, if you do not know how to manage your health, mental and physical health, you cannot be happy. If you do not know how to manage your relationships with your family, friends, environment, and within yourself, you cannot be happy. So I can help you create that environment. And once that environment is created, you have more probability of experiencing the feeling, what is called happiness, right? So this is how this whole concept of engineering happiness started. And I thought, what can be a better name for my company than Happiness Technology? That means don't leave happiness to chance. You have an option, you have an opportunity. You can create, you can design an environment in your life so you can live a happy life. So you're not living happiness as an outcome, but happiness as a way of life.
Yes, so there was a question that a lot of students want to know. They've been asking it again and again. So at what point in your life did you realize that you want to do something that generates happiness? Like where you were like, I do not want to go into the corporate. I do not want to do the job. I don't want to code. I don't want to go to code, but I want to do something different.
Yeah. So I would tell you, so again, one more story, and then I'll answer this question. I don't know if you guys are planning to show those pictures, but once Shiv Kumar Sharma came to our campus. I was very active in Spic Mackey. I don't know if you guys still have Spic Mackey chapter.
So we do have it. It is active in the college.
Wonderful. So I was the secretary, and we made it very active. We had some very renowned people as state guests, and brought Shiv Kumar Sharma ji and Fazal Qureshi, Zakir Hussein's brother, Ustad Zakir Hussein's brother. So Shiv Kumar Sharma ji was playing Santoor, and Bachat Bhavan, पता नहीं आज भी है कि नहीं है, Bachat Bhavan हुआ करता था Hamirpur में. So that was the hall. We didn't have auditorium that time in our college. So in Hamirpur town, we used to have this building called Bachat Bhavan, very opposite to this dhaba. What is that popular dhaba? एक ढाबा बहुत famous ढाबा था. I think things might have changed now. जहाँ से वो चढ़ाई शुरू होती है, हमीरपुर की चढ़ाई शुरू होती है.
Ekta Dhaba, I guess.
No, it was some other name. It might come to me. It was there for a long time. Anyway, so we had it in Bachat Bhavan. And Pandit Shiv Kumar Sharma was playing Santoor. And it was mesmerizing. We had one of the largest attendance. And he was playing, and he was just in different world altogether. And suddenly, he stops and everybody claps. And one of the youngsters, he raises question. So, उसने question पूछा Shiv Kumar Sharma से. Very thought-provoking question and amazing answer. It inspired me. One of the golden moments that I always remember from my REC days. The Nav Kirti was the name of the youngster. So he asked, Panditji, aap to matlab you are maestro. When we think of Santoor, we think of you. You have even modified Santoor, and Santoor is synonymous with you. What do you want to achieve in your life now? Everything you have achieved, you are master. And what he said was amazing. He said, Dekho, for me, it is not playing Santoor, it is my meditation. So you can reach meditative state, you can reach joy, happiness, bliss, not necessarily by doing this or that or engineering. Or you can achieve through coding also. You can achieve through cooking also. Whatever puts you in that moment of flow and passion can create your moments of meditativeness or blissfulness or joy. And then he says, music is my way of achieving that bliss. And then this youngster asked, so sir, what is your motivation? How far you want to go? Because when he came after this gruesome 5-hour, 6-hour journey in Pahadi terrain, he actually did his riyaz and we were surprised. शिव कुमार शर्मा जी, उनको रियाज करने की क्या जरूरत है? फजल कुरैशी जाके 2 घंटे अपने रूम में रियाज करके आए. He says, see, even today when I'm playing santoor, all of you guys are waiting for the crescendo. When the crescendo comes, you're all waiting for me to stop so you can clap. जैसे ही मैं रुकता हूं, सब तालियां बजाते हैं. I want to reach that level of playing santoor that when I stop, no one should clap. Then I would have communicated my meditative state to all of you. So I invite you to think on this story and see where you can reach in your life, in your own way, through your own santoor. You don't have to follow path of Arun Bharadwaj or Pandit Shiv Kumar Sharma. It can be coding. It can be, financial acumen that you gain. So don't depend on others. Root cause of our living joyfully is, are you immersed in whatever you are doing? Whatever it is. So don't get into this thought of, यार मुझे तो अब spiritual बनना है, मुझे तो अब यार ऋषिकेश घूमने जाना है Steve Jobs की तरह. No, it is all about what are you passionate about and how passionately you can involve yourself in whatever you are doing, whether it is a game or engineering. So nothing wrong with engineering. You can achieve mindfulness, meditativeness, joy, bliss through engineering also. I chose a different path.
Okay, sir.
So coming on to this notion of happiness, we have a very popping up question in the audience that people are asking that we have lost the trail to be happy, and that we often find our happiness in the validation of others. So how can we separate our happiness from the validation of those 4 people of the society?
Yes. I want to share something very profound. All of you who can write it down, write it so you can reflect on it later. We compare our inner self with the outer self of others. We compare our inner selves with the outer selves of others. And that's one of the primary seed of our not living a joyful life. देखो, जब हम आपसे बात करते हैं, एक दूसरे से बात करते हैं, when you guys talk to each other, we are in that pretending mode. We are doing a dance of deception, right? Nature does it. We humans also do it. So I'm trying to be at my best. And suddenly you are saying, oh my God, इसने तो ये कर लिया, इसको तो ये अचीव कर लिया, ये तो इतना अच्छा ये करता है, वो करता है, और मैं तो कुछ भी नहीं हूं. Because when you are comparing with your inner self, right? So first thing that we need to learn is that all of us are gifted. All of us are unique, and that is our USP. You don't have to be Arun. I don't have to be Divyam. We have some special thing in us. And you asked me, when did I think कि मुझे happiness में जाना चाहिए? I found out my special thing is about human interaction. What puts me into meditative state is when I'm interacting with human beings. A great interaction, when I'm performing on stage, when I'm communicating with my audience, that's my meditative state. And I realized, why do I want to wait until 55 or 58 to get retired and then do what I love to do? For me, I created a new definition of retirement. And my definition of retirement, when I told my parents I want to retire at the age of 44 or 45, they thought I'm crazy. Right? For them, retirement matlab ab sab chhod chhad ke kahin chale jayenge. So I told them retirement, no, that's not the reason. Retirement for me means any job that you do, in that there'll be 2 buckets. Things that you want to do and things that you have to do. Engineering sometimes is not our choice. Social programming, need for getting a job, all these things force you to take some profession sometimes. That's not necessarily our passion many times. That's the reality. For me, also part of it was passion, but a lot of it was profession. And I realized that my juice comes from interacting with human beings. So I addressed it in 2 ways. Stage 1, I did my MBA, so I moved more from engineering into more customer-facing product, product marketing, branding, etc. So I was more people-facing, people-oriented rather than technology-oriented. That's something I wanted to do. The second part of it was second transformation, that I wanted to totally go into a different domain altogether, right? So I think that comes with the age, and then when you have experienced and achieved everything that you want to achieve. Now I want to highlight one thing, which is very important. So don't go home and say, पापा आज एक आए थे कोई गुरुजी, उन्होंने बताया अब तो मैं तो गिटार ही बजाऊंगा और म्यूजिक ही प्ले करूंगा, अब मैं पढ़ाई नहीं करूंगा. No, I'm able to say what I'm saying to you folks because I have secured my life. लाइफ में सबसे पहले रोटी कपड़ा और मकान की चिंता सबको रहती है. Once you feel secure, either secure because you have generated enough funds, or you know that whatever you are choosing your career to be will be able to provide you those 4 things that create your ikigai. 1, it is something that you're passionate about. Second, it is something that people will pay you for. You'll make money and take care of your life and your family's life. Third, it is something that you can do very well. So it's not just your wish, your competency also to perform that. And fourth, it is something that world wants. That means it should not be a negative, undesirable thing. It should be something that creates joy and happiness. So the day I started realizing all this, I said, okay, time for me to start doing something different. So all of you also, I invite you to take your journey. But as I mentioned to you, it is not by escaping from your circumstances. It is by securing your circumstances, and the next level of evolution starts automatically.
So just a follow-up question on what you said. Like you mentioned, there are 2 buckets of what you want to do and what you have to do.
Divyam, one thing, because we almost completed 1 hour. What I want to is what I'm sharing with you guys, connecting with you, is it making sense to you guys? It is contributing?
Yes, so obviously it is, because right now we were all stressed because of the pandemic situation where literally everyone has lost a lot of hope. Colleges are off, field work is off. So listening to you, it's giving everyone a hope. I mean, personally to me, it's giving a lot of hope, and I can see a clear vision of what I want to do after this session.
Okay. So मेरा criteria simple है. जब आप लोगों को अपने audience गिरते हुए नजर आएंगे, that means, I'm not connecting. Just let me know, then we will finish off the session.
Sir, I'll be honest with you, they've just been rising since we started.
And I guess this is the first time people are actually thinking about this happiness during this pandemic. So I guess this is very important for all those who are listening to it.
It is. See, the mind, it is not about, happiness does not mean that I don't have problems in my life. Right? लोग कहते हैं जी अब तो आपने happiness पे PhD कर डाली, हाँ तो अब आप क्या नाराज होते ही नहीं हो, आप unhappy होते ही नहीं हो. No, that's not the thing. It is about having a mindset that I am capable of doing best possible in the worst of circumstances. I've gone through financial losses. I've gone through problems in my family life, personal life, etc. Everybody has those problems. But having a mindset that I can do my best in the worst of circumstances, I'll stand up, rise, and respond to circumstances. That's what I mean by happiness mindset. Okay. So whatever you do, remember, build a mindset that as a human being, I've gone through a lot. We don't have time. Someday when we'll meet in person, probably I'll share more with you. But just tell yourself it's going to be okay. I just need to keep cool, right? The other thing I want to tell you, since you brought in the Corona Kal and all that, 2 more concepts I want to share with all of you there, which has transformed my life. Very simple. You might know also. First one is CIA. Become a member of CIA Club. CIA is control, influence, and accept. There are 4 kind of things in life. 1, the Kejriwal, Modi, Rahul Gandhi battle. We can spend hours and hours and hours together. We have no contribution to make. Whatever we discuss, think, worry will not make an iota of difference in the world. But we are ending up spending hours and hours of Facebook time and WhatsApp time and probably your examination time also and learning time also. Those are things of your concern, not contributing to your life. As much time you can take away from those black hole of your life, you are going to be happier. Then second stage is things that we can influence. Third thing is things that we can control. Start segmenting your life into these 3 areas. Whatever is your circle of concern and you have nothing to do into that, how far can you keep away from those friends' conversations is going to create happy life for you. Whatever you are capable of influencing, that's where you should start focusing. But your life should revolve around what do you control. We think that we can change the world, but challenge is we cannot control the most closest person that we have control over, that is we ourselves. पहले तो अपने आप को अगर हम लोग चेंज कर पाएं तब हम किसी और को चेंज कर पाएंगे. So remember, our personality is how we think, how we feel, how we act. Because our personality creates our personal reality. And if you want to change a personal reality, you have to change your personality. उसके लिए अच्छे लोगों का साथ कीजिए, अच्छी बुक्स पढ़िए, अच्छे थॉट्स दिमाग में रखिए, अच्छे वीडियोस अपने आप को देखिए. So first thing is only worry about things that you can control and influence, and rest of the things we should just accept. ठीक है? Aware जो फालतू वाली चीजें उनको बाहर रखिए. तो CIA is control, influence. What you cannot control, what you cannot influence, you should accept. Somebody says, I'm a girl. Somebody says, I'm poor. मेरे घर में तो बहुत अच्छा financial condition नहीं है. Those are things related to your fate. How you were born, where you were born, what was your circumstances, what is your gender. It is your fate. You cannot change it. Accept it. But what you do with your fate will create your destiny. Remember this. Fate, accept it. But don't accept it, your future with that fate. You have capability to think differently, feel differently, act differently, and hence create a different life for yourself. So your fate, you have to accept, but your destiny, you can create.
Those are really inspiring words, sir. It gave us a lot, like CIA. For us, it was Central Intelligence Agency till now, but it will have a different meaning from now on.
Yes.
Yes, sir. So we have some photographs of you that you shared with us, and we'd like to have your views on them. Tarush, can you please share that?
All the stories that go behind these little anecdotes.
So these are days, guys. Those who are geek type, you have a what you call, you have an opportunity. You can also be Mr. Hillfair. I didn't have dollars. I did not have six packs and all that. But those days, Hillfair was something where there were a lot of events. तो उन events में जो maximum points जीतता था, उसको Mr. Hillfair का खिताब दे दिया जाता था. Dr. Jha, he is actually still active in some of the groups. He was our principal. He was HOD of electrical department and later he became our principal. बीच में जो है वो ठाकुर जगदेव चंद, one of the stalwart politicians of Hamirpur. तो ये I was in second year. आप देख सकते हैं कि मेरी सूखी हड्डियां थी, मुझे अगरबत्ती कहा जाता था. आजकल मैं काफी हेल्दी हो गया हूँ, हष्ट पुष्ट हो गया हूँ. So this is memory of a beautiful memory. I was Mr. Hillfair twice actually. So you can top and you can be Mr. Hillfair also, possible.
Yes, sir. But coming on the Hillfair thing, we got to hear that you were a part of the committee that named the fest Hillfair.
Yes, yes. So
what was the process there?
Yes, so 90 से पहले क्या होता था कि every year Hillfair used to be named differently. Like एक बार उसको तरंग नाम रखा गया था. I remember when I was in first year. And then this, हम लोगों ने बाहर जाना शुरू कर दिया. So remember, 85 is when our college started, and I'm a 89 batch. So I was like first year, and then all the years were filled that time. तो अब हमारे कॉलेज को भी बुलाया जाने लगा. We went to Oasis Pilani. I don't know if you guys have gone to Oasis. अब हमारी तो आंखें इतनी बड़ी बड़ी रहती थी, वहां पे आंखें बंद ही नहीं होती थी, सोते भी नहीं थे हम लोग. तो it was such a cultural shock for us going to Oasis Pilani. So we realized that people are creating brand with the same title, same name. फिर ये डिस्कशन हुई कि क्या होना चाहिए नाम. तो फ्रॉम डिफरेंट नेम्स आए, फिर उसमें हिल अफेयर से हिल फेयर हो गया कि इट इज हिल अफेयर. सो इट काइंड ऑफ सूटेड एनवायरनमेंट दैट वी हैड. सो हिल फेयर बिकेम द परमानेंट नेम. आई एम ग्लैड दैट इज स्टिल कंटिन्यूइंग. पहले बड़े फनी से हमारे वो भी थे, उसके जो लोगोस आप देख रहे हैं वो पीछे एक हार्ट बना हुआ है हिल फेयर का. तो बाद में शायद वो भी चेंज हो गया. आई डोंट नो व्हाट इट इज नाउ, बट दैट्स हाउ हिल फेयर केम टू बी.
Next photograph.
Next one, please.
This one, by the way, is the main gate जहाँ से आप वो अणु वाली रोड से enter करते हो. Now this time when I came to college, I saw it's all changed, but this is how it all started. Very humble beginning. तो हम लोग बड़े स्टाइल. ये आप देख रहे हैं मेरे मित्र हैं विजय, जो सेकंड वाले हैं, राइट से लेफ्ट से थर्ड और राइट से सेकंड. तो उन दिनों मूवी एक उनकी पॉपुलर हुई थी आमिर खान की, कौन सी, दिल है कि मानता नहीं. और उसमें वो ऐसी वाली कैप लगा के घूमते थे, तो लोग ये वाली कैप लगा के घूम रहे होते थे.
Next.
दिस इज शरत. सो डम शरत चल रहा है. हम लोग काफी चैंपियन हुआ करते थे उसमें. तो आप देखिए कि हमारा स्टेज कैसा हुआ करता था तब. और दिस इज फनी, वेरी वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग. सो दिस इज आई थिंक सेकंड हिल फेयर, 90 या 91 का है ये. नेक्स्ट वाला दिखाइए, नेक्स्ट वाला इंटरेस्टिंग है शायद.
That heart was the symbol for Nimbus, right? The logo.
Yes,
The heart.
yes, yes. ये मिस हिलफेयर थी उस टाइम, 4th ईयर में थी ये, जब हम 2nd ईयर में थे. तो yeah, I got an opportunity to stand next to a beauty queen, so I was very excited about it. Shared this picture with everybody.
So it was really great looking at all these pictures, like how NIT started and where it is right now. It's had a lot of journey till now.
We've been missing on this fun for so long, sitting at our home, and it feels
Oh, by the way,
just...
we were in a very interesting times. So I want to share one anecdote with all of you. हम लोगों ने एक बार, so I was very active in dramatics and I had a very good team, very good friends. Juniors were very good friends and seniors also, they were involved as well. तो हम लोगों ने पहला नुक्कड़ नाटक किया, पहला नुक्कड़ नाटक हमीरपुर का, and it was done at Gandhi Chowk. That time साक्षरता अभियान was going on, तो हम लोग वो ढोलक वोलक डाल के, for हमीरपुर it was a very new thing. And we were given grand reception. लोग मतलब छत के ऊपर खड़े हो गए और पूरा वहां पे भीड़ लगी हुई थी. And सब लोगों ने बहुत appreciate किया. तो I had composed some songs and all that. तो वो बात फैल गई. तो फिर मुझे ऑफर आया कि जी हमीरपुर में रामायण हो रही है, कि राम के रोल के लिए वो जो लड़का है ना, गोरा सा चश्मा पहनता है, उसको बुलाया जाए. तो मैंने बोला कि यार कैंपस बहुत दूर है. तो then they offered me a vehicle also. उन्होंने कहा नहीं राम तो उसी को बनाना है, हम एक बाइसिकल भी देंगे उसको आने जाने के लिए. तो फिर हमने कहा यार चश्मे वाला राम कुछ अच्छा नहीं लगेगा. So those are the days. तो फाइनल ईयर में हमारे एक सीनियर थी, आई डोंट वांट टू नेम हर, उन्होंने पहली बार जीन्स पहनी. तो आई थिंक हमीरपुर में लोगों ने पहली बार किसी को जीन्स पहने देखा. इट वाज इन 1986 और समथिंग. तो जब वो बाजार में निकली तो पूरा हमीरपुर जो है पीछे उनके चल रहा था. सो दोज वर द डेज. सो वी केम फ्रॉम देयर टू व्हाटएवर हमीरपुर एंड REC NIT campus has become now. So amazing.
So sir, I had a follow-up question to the last thing that you said about the buckets one, that it was lift. So I wanted to ask that sometimes what I want to do and what I have to do are completely separate. There's no intersection between them. In such situations, what should a person do? Like, should we go with what we have to do or stick with what we want to do?
Great. This dilemma will always continue. Never in our life, this dilemma will go away. Nobody will get to do 100% what they want to do. I'll tell you an example. I'm running a company. I'm not dependent on anyone. I can deliver everything by myself also if I wish to. But still, if I get a text notice, now I have to manage that, right? It's not something I want to do, but I have to do. So I'm just giving an example. There's no absolute life ever. Life will always be between these two extremes, and you will feel happy when you are able to maintain that middle ground, right? तो जब आपको ऐसा dilemma आ जाए, it is a question of how do I increase percentage of what I want to do versus what I have to do. I'll give you an example. When I was in engineering, as I told you, as you might have also sensed, my interest, my personality was to interact with people, right? Even college mein I was hyperactive in cultural activities. You already saw because of that, not because of six packs that I got Mr. Hilfier. तो वहाँ पे भी बहुत active थे. And my friend, my roommate, his name is Naveen Sharma. तो 3.5 साल we were roommates and we were always together. तो just then final day we were separating and he hugged me and उसने कहा यार मुझे ना आज तक समझ में नहीं आता कि तू पास भी कैसे हुआ. Forget about top. पास भी कैसे किया मुझे नहीं मालूम है, because the day before the exam you used to be writing poems and all that. And I was actually pleasantly surprised with that observation. And what I realized is when you are doing something what you have to do and you can mix it well with something that you want to do or you are good at doing or something that you love doing, that passion creates that shocker that you need to handle the jerks that life will give you. So at any stage, आज तो अभी आप college में हैं, make sure that whatever you are doing along with it, you are also carving out some time for your passion, something that give you juice. तो जो वो छोटे मोटे bumps होंगे life के, उसके लिए shocker बन जाएगा. In fact, when I mentor folks in corporate also, I tell them the same thing. When I was going through a lot of stressful time in my corporate, I started doing weekend motivational talks at schools and colleges. Now, they always wanted some corporate guys to come in, and I did not charge because for me it was exhibiting my or utilizing my passion. But that Saturday, Sunday kept me so busy that I was neither cursing people, thinking bad about my boss. I did not have time because anytime I found some time, I will start planning ke Saturday, Sunday ko kya karna. So create such buffers in your life and don't get frustrated. Know that even greatest of human beings and successful people in your eyes, they also have their life into these two segments. what they want to do and what they have to do. And their genius is in ensuring they are doing enough of what they want to do, what they are passionate about, that when they get setbacks on what they have to do, it doesn't bother them. They are always looking forward to something new in that domain in what they want to do something.
Sir, I had a curiosity about this. What is that one moment that when you think about from your life at NIT Hamirpur, that you still cherish and feel great about that?
NIT, I think various moments happened. One very interesting one. So I'll tell you the most memorable later, but one very interesting one. And आप लोगों ने सरोज ठाकुर मैम से पढ़ा है English? She was my teacher also. So हम लोग, now you imagine all of you have gone through that experience, right? You are like, oh, हम लोगों ने पता नहीं क्या तीर मार लिया, अभी तो हम लोग engineering में आ गए. And first year में all that you did not want to see, mathematics, physics, chemistry, social sciences and English on top of it. तो हमने कहा मैम ये इंग्लिश मतलब अब तो हम इंजीनियर बन रहे हैं. वी वर थिंकिंग कि कंप्यूटर प्रोग्रामिंग एंड ऑल दैट थिंग विल हैपन. तो मैम ने स्माइल करते हुए बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग बात एक बोला. उन्होंने कहा बेटा आज के 10-15 साल बाद you will remember me and you will remember this classroom, because after 10 years from today English would be the only subject that will come to your aid. And that was so true. Ultimately what I mean by that, as nahi ki aapke engineering ke subject waste ho jayenge, but when you are growing up and grooming yourself, make sure that everything else is fine, but you build an awesome, amazing communication skill. Your skills to connect with people will become a significant factor in defining your success in life as well as happiness in life. So एक तो ये बड़ा मेरे को हमेशा मोमेंट याद रहता है, not because it is not important to have all other subjects, but it kind of highlighted importance of ultimately we are human beings. If you are designing products, you are not creating computer programs for computer. You're not designing products for computers or machines. You're not building houses for bricks and cement. Whatever we are doing as an engineer, ultimately we are creating an experience for another human being. So whatever we do, it should create value for human beings. It should create emotional positivity in human beings. So remember that. You can be great engineer technically, but before that you have to become great human being. For that, make sure you're also focusing on communication skills and other soft skills. Right? Other event I remember is there was this goal in mind, right? That trying to excel in everything, right? So I was in NCC, I was captain of badminton team, I was doing cultural participation, etc. Did not want to compromise. I wanted, and for own self, right? That I wanted to also see if I can top. तो कई बार ऐसी ऐसी मोमेंट्स भी लाइफ में आई जब मतलब एग्जाम ऐसा आया जिसमें आप ऐसा लग रहा है कि फेल हो जाओगे. देयर वाज अ सिस्टम एनालिसिस, आई थिंक इन इलेक्ट्रिसिटी का एक सब्जेक्ट था. जैसे ही पेपर आया सब एक दूसरे को देख रहे हैं, भाई तुझे कुछ आता है कि नहीं, कुछ भी नहीं आता. और मैंने पता नहीं कितनी बार काउंट कर लिया तो 34 मार्क्स ही इकट्ठे हो रहे थे, 35 भी नहीं हो रहे थे, पास मार्क्स भी नहीं हो रहे थे. बट व्हाट आई वांट टू टेल ऑल ऑफ यू गाइस, all the events that happened in life, in education, during education also, later also, life works out. We just need to have that confidence that things will be better, right? And for that, what you have to do is remember two things. One, the greatest lie taught to all of us, जब हम कहते हैं कि सक्सेस का ऑपोजिट क्या है, the first thing that pops out in our mind is failure. This is the greatest lie taught to us. Success का opposite failure नहीं है. Failure is part of success. Failure is actually stepping stone to success. If I have achieved something today, it's because I've learned from my failures. But the difference between a bad failure and good failure, a good failure is when you fail and you never fail twice for the same reason, right? And if you become from good to great, then you not only not fail from the same reason, you do not fail because of similar reasons as well. Then you have learned from your failures. And by the way, I want to leave you with another interesting thought. You know what's the difference between computer and human beings? Computers are better in everything. They can do better processing. They can be less error prone. They don't get tired. They don't curse if they are made to work hard, etc., etc. But that's their challenge also. The fact that they don't commit mistakes is the limitation of a computer. Whatever you program, they deliver. Human beings, our greatest asset is our capability to commit mistakes. Think about it. जब आप मिस्टेक कमिट करते हो, you go out of the program. Until you commit mistake, जो आपके माँ बाप ने पढ़ा दिया, जो आपके टीचर्स ने पढ़ा दिया, आपने सिर्फ उसको वोमिट आउट करना है. The moment you commit a mistake and now you have courage to correct your mistake, now is when you started applying your brain, and now is a potential for creating something new. Keep this in mind. Failure is an opportunity to grow, right? So I hope that's what I learned during my time. See, आप लोगों को सबको ये realization होगा, and probably you are too shy to ask this question, कि कितना % हमारी education का काम में आता है, right? So unless you are in very specific domain, niche domain, probably 95% तो कभी content use भी नहीं होंगे हमारे. But what you learn during engineering education is capability to handle complexities, capability to handle difficulties, create solvable pieces from seemingly impossible problems. And that's what you have to learn. It is about gaining maturity of mind to handle failures and create innovations out of your failures. That's what you have to learn in your engineering education.
So on this learning part, like right now we are in an education system where grade is what matters the most, to be honest. You can, like, if I tell someone my grade, they'll judge me, my whole personality only on that one on that decimal number, that okay, he is such kind of a guy. And I believe that is not what says everything about me. I might be good at academics, I might not be, but I might be better at other stuff. So what is your opinion on this system? Like, how can things go to a better future, like where we do not consider just the grade of us?
So this is an opportunity for us to apply CIA now. Control, influence, and accept. Fortunately, we have way out. Unfortunately, this is how we are going to be for some time. This is how our environment is. तो हम लोग उसको change करने की कोशिश कर सकते हैं. We have influence over it, but we don't have control. So best thing is you accept this method. कि यही रहेगा method. और उसके कुछ फायदे भी हैं. For example, अगर आपको कहीं management position के लिए जाना है, तो you'll be asked कि आपने MBA किया है. And the advantage of that is, if you have done MBA from a great or good institution with good marks, I assume you would know certain things for sure. I don't have to worry कि आपको SWOT analysis आता होगा, ये आता होगा, वो आता होगा, right? तो इसलिए उसका कुछ merits भी हैं. I'm not disregarding the merits of measuring people on a signal thing. Now, on the other hand, what do we have in our influence? And I'm pretty sure this question is playing in everyone's mind, or most of the people listening to us. Life को याद रखिएगा, it's not a sprint 100-meter race, it's a marathon. मैंने बचपन में जो स्टेज परफॉर्मेंसेस किए थे और कॉलेज में जो मैंने स्टेज परफॉर्मेंसेस किए थे, they have created my today, which I'm enjoying, rejoicing, and I will not bargain it for anything. I've quit a job where I was getting paid more than what I deserve to be, and I quit it. So you can imagine there has to be something greater motivation, inner motivation. And that motivation is that whatever I'm doing right now, it is not for, so today I'm talking to you, it's not for impressing you guys or making sure that you guys go something. It is because I really am enjoying what I'm doing. If you guys tell me that it was a great session, you learned from it, you'll be able to add to my happiness. But you'll not be able to subtract from my happiness of having this opportunity to talk to young minds, right? So remember this. लॉन्ग टर्म में जो चीजें पहले इनसिग्निफिकेंट थी, लोग कहते थे तुम क्या यार ये स्टेज पे करते रहते हो, इससे थोड़ा तुम्हारे को मार्क्स मिलेंगे, टीचर्स भी कहते थे कई बार. बट सी, इन द लॉन्ग टर्म, इन द गेम व्हाट इज कॉल्ड मैराथन, उसमें सब कुछ इवन आउट होना शुरू हो जाएगा. हो सकता है आपको पहली जॉब मिलने में बड़ा कष्ट हो, बट इफ यू आर केपेबल ऑफ बिलीविंग इन योरसेल्फ and you know that you have it in you, it is something that puts you in meditative state, it is something that you are willing to struggle for some time, you will see eventually you will find an opportunity which will be able to give you that environment to grow and thrive. Number 2, environment in India is changing now. Although जब आप कॉलेज में होते हो तो अलग तरह का stress रहता है, but environment in India is changing now. You heard all those stories about Steve Jobs dropping off, Bill Gates dropping off, पर वो लोग US की stories थी. Now India में भी वो possible है. Nothing stops you from coming out and doing some diploma in fashion designing and becoming a fashion designer, although you are a computer engineer. Many of my friends now who were computer engineers. One of my friends, she is now interior designer because that's what her passion was. So हो सकता है आपको पहली जॉब मिलने में मुश्किल रहे, कोई बात नहीं यार, दाल रोटी खा लेना, मटर पनीर मत खाना, इतना पैसा तो आ ही जाएगा. लेकिन I tell you, the environment that India has now, especially the startup environment, it is all about your passion. And startup doesn't have to be you are creating next iPhone. It can be a social thing, something to do with education, something to do with the village. Do whatever gives you that joy. See, for me, I always want all of you to follow two things, because जो तीसरी है उससे लाइफ में फ्रस्ट्रेशन रहेगा. What are those two things? First option, do what you love. First option. Now, कई बार क्या होता है, हो सकता है some of you might not be from a background जहां पे आपके पास फाइनेंशियल स्ट्रेंथ हो कि आप लोग स्टार्टअप में वेंचर करके कुछ टाइम तक रिस्क ले सको. मे बी यू आर डेस्परेटली लुकिंग फॉर दैट फर्स्ट जॉब सो यू कैन स्टार्ट सपोर्टिंग योर फैमिली, राइट? सो यू विल से, सर हम चाहते तो हैं कि डू व्हाट यू लव. जॉब इज नॉट समथिंग आई लव, पर मुझे सैलरी चाहिए, मुझे अपने फैमिली को सपोर्ट करना है. दैट्स लाइफ. Then you follow my second mantra. Start loving what you do. If you do not follow these two, then it's only frustration, stress, depression. So either do what you love, create that environment, and for whatever reason, if that is not possible, then start loving what you do, because the two will merge somewhere. So have that confidence. I'm speaking not because I've read this from YouTube or somewhere. It is because I've experienced this in life.
Sir, I wanted to ask something. I've read it somewhere that Jeff Bezos.
Purvan, let me ask you one question. Are you guys
Yes,
getting
sir.
questions from audience also? Let's pick them also so they can feel participating in this
Yes, sir.
conversation.
These questions have been specially put up by the audience for
Wonderful,
you.
wonderful.
So one of the questions that was asked recently was that the person who we all know as Jeff Bezos, the CEO of Amazon, we've all read a story that he used to flip burgers till the age of 23, and then he
Yes.
ventured into his own empire, creating his own thing. But in India, this atmosphere is still not present. A person who does a job which is lower than his educational capability is looked down upon. So how can people get past that barrier of society judging them for what they do?
देखिए, CIA अप्लाई करने का दूसरा अपॉर्चुनिटी है. You have no control over others. You only have control over yourself. If I decide to feel proud of being a janitor and I say that I want to create innovative ways of cleaning floors, if you look down upon me, how does it matter to me? Because I am able to utilize my creativity and redefining how cleaning is to be done on the floor. लोगों को तो हम चेंज नहीं कर सकते. सबसे पहले तो आपके घर वाले, see in US even there is a millionaire, they will make their kids work. पॉकेट मनी चाहिए ना, चलो लोन को मूव करो. स्कूल में जाना है, go figure it out, how will you pay for it? They will work in McDonald's. Even millionaires के बच्चे भी, राइट? हमारे पेरेंट्स बोलेंगे, अगर आप चाहोगे भी तो बोलेंगे तुझे घर में बैठ, तुझे अपनी तो इज्जत की खबर नहीं है, मेरी इज्जत भी खराब करेगा, राइट? दोज आर द थॉट्स. नाउ इट इज फॉर अस टू सी ऑल दीज एक्टिविटीज रिस्पेक्टफुल. जैसे मैं कोरिया में गया तो कोरिया में ड्राइवर को ना लोग इतनी इज्जत के साथ में उनको थैंक यू बोलेंगे. जस्ट इमेजिन व्हेन वी सिट इन अ कार और अ बस, वी गिव आवर लाइफ इन द हैंड ऑफ द ड्राइवर, एंड हाउ डू वी ट्रीट देम? What is the kind of persona? अगर आप कहो पापा को घर में मुझे बस ड्राइवर बनना है, तो just imagine there will be a chaos in the home. Although this person is performing such an important job that he is carrying 30 people and their life solely depends on this person's hand, right? So there they will very respectfully say thank you, thank you, thank you, है ना? चढ़ते हुए भी thank you, उतरते हुए भी thank you. In India, I did that, and this guy thought I'm teasing him. He got really ferocious. Because we do not respect work. And probably your generation can start making the difference, right? You should feel pride. Just मैंने एक restaurant चलाया. I ran a restaurant for 2 years in US. And that time when you own something, when pinch is on your pocket, कई बार स्टाफ नहीं आता है तो यू हैव टू क्लीन टेबल्स ऑल्सो, राइट? फर्स्ट टाइम इट इज ऑकवर्ड, बट देन यू से दिस इज माई पैशन, एंड देन you start enjoying it. I'll tell you one example. My dad is diabetic. Now, diabetes was a taboo. बताते नहीं थे कि मुझे डायबिटीज हो गया. अब क्योंकि नहीं बताते हैं तो जहां पे भी जाते थे लोग फोर्स करेंगे, अरे खा लीजिए. अब उनको लगता था कि ये खाना नहीं जा रहे हैं, अरे थोड़ा सा तो ले लीजिए. Just because he did not want to say I'm diabetic, he ended up eating a lot of sugar. He just had to say one day I'm diabetic, I cannot take this, and then he'll be fine, right? As we grow old, ears, कान के सुनने की शक्ति चली गई. But you are so conscious, I don't want to let people know that I cannot hear. So what you do, you make fool out of yourself. One fine day you decide, no, I'm going to just share it with people. Hey, तुझे सुनाई नहीं देता क्या? यार सच्ची में ही मेरे कान खराब है, मुझे सुनाई नहीं देता. What are you going to do now? You'll be more empathetic towards me. It is just that I was assuming that, oh, अगर मैंने बता दिया मेरे को सुनाई नहीं देता, then all these people somehow they'll be superior, I'll be inferior. This is why the most important thing that all of you have to develop, and we can have separate conversation on it, is this whole idea of self-confidence, right? And self-confidence को इतना complex बना दिया गया है. It means being at peace with whoever you are. लोग मुझसे पूछते हैं कि spirituality क्या होती है, आप इंजीनियर भी हो, spirituality समझा दो. मैं बहुत definition easily आपको बताता हूँ, आसान वाली. Spirituality is when you can enjoy a cup of tea in a 5-star hotel, and you can enjoy a paper cup of tea on a nukkad sitting on the road with a ठेले वाला. अगर आपने दोनों स्थितियों में उस चाय को एंजॉय किया तो आप स्पिरिचुअल हो गए. We should be able to accept ourselves, our circumstances, and what we like. कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे, लोगों का काम है कहना, आपका काम है CIA को फॉलो करना.
Yes, sir. So that's very, very true. Like this self-acceptance thing, a lot of us need to focus on it, because in our generation, not everyone is happy with the way they look, the work they are doing. And there's a lot of things that bring us down. So hearing this, it'll motivate a lot of us. I am sure about that. So someone
just one point, because this is, I think, important talk. Remember two things. One, start carving out time to excel in whatever you want. You have to excel, because कंपटीशन पॉपुलेशन इतना ऐसा नहीं हो सकता कि आप बोलो मैं बोलूं कि मुझे मिस्टर इंडिया बनना है या मिस्टर यूनिवर्स बनना है, बट आई एम नॉट विलिंग टू पुट द एफर्ट दैट इज रिक्वायर्ड. वी हैव टू बी वेरी डिसिप्लिन. सो इट्स नॉट इजी. द आइडिया इज वेरी सिंपल, बट इट्स नॉट इजी टू इम्प्लीमेंट, है ना? सिंपल है, इजी नहीं है. तो इसलिए आपको टाइम कार्व आउट करना है. देन व्हाट विल यू डू नाउ? रिमेंबर दैट CIA के बियॉन्ड एक और चीज थी, सर्कल ऑफ अवेयर कंसर्न, जहां पे हम लोग बहुत सारा टाइम वेस्ट करते हैं, चाहे आप टीवी देखने में, चाहे आप सोशल मीडिया पे टाइम वेस्ट करते हैं. तो यू हैव टू स्टार्ट फाइंडिंग टाइम, यू हैव टू स्टार्ट क्रिएटिंग टाइम दैट यू कैन स्टार्ट स्पेंडिंग ऑन योर पैशन फ्रॉम टुडे इटसेल्फ. शॉर्ट टर्म में वो पैशन को लिव करना आपको कुशन देगा, बफर देगा, ताकि आप स्ट्रेस में ना रहो. एंड लॉन्ग टर्म में हु नोज, योर पैशन बिकम्स योर प्रोफेशन. I am one example, and I'm very proud of it, and I'm very happy about it, that I was able to turn my passion into a profession.
So, sir, I'd like to ask a question from the audience. So, it is, how does work quality differ when working under pressure and working happily? Like some of us, we believe that we work well under pressure, while some of us need a lot of time and we cannot work under pressure. So, what do you think is better? And
see, work, हमको थोड़ा सा न्यूरोसाइंसेस का ABC करना पड़ेगा अभी. If I make a general statement, when we are happy, we are at our best. That's my general statement, right? Because when we are stressed, neurologically, our brain is designed to think about survival. जब हम stressful situation में होते हैं, हमें लगता है कि we are under threat now. We can only think of convergence of idea. Something that we already know is successfully done in the past, that's something we will apply. So we will not be creative, we will not be innovative. So when you are in good state of mind, happy state of mind, non-stressed state of mind, you are more likely to think divergently. That means you'll be more creative, you'll be willing to step out of the box. जहां पे आपको fear of failure होगा, fear of failure में आपको पता है innovation खत्म हो जाएगी. अगर मैं आपको कहूं कि एक नया कुर्ता डिजाइन करो, आप कहोगे यार ऐसा करते हैं, चलो कलर चेंज कर देते हैं, बटन चेंज कर देते हैं, because you know that ultimately kurta will work. You will not come out with something out of the box idea, right? तो एक तो ये बात है कि स्ट्रेस में आप लेस प्रोडक्टिव हो जाते हो. नाउ देयर इज अ काउंटर आर्ग्यूमेंट दैट स्ट्रेस आल्सो एनहांसेस योर परफॉर्मेंस. Answer is yes, because when we are under mild stress, short-term mild stress, our superpowers get energized, because again we are trying to get out of that threatening situation, and that superpower remains for short duration. तो अगर milder stress है, it enhances our performance because our biochemical environment becomes more functional and provides us superhuman strength for some time. पर अगर वही stress long duration के लिए रहता है, it will start depleting our energy and immunity and all that, then it will start affecting us negatively, and then our productivity will fall, right? तो अच्छा तो ये रहेगा कि आप ये आदत ही ना डालें कि टीचर कह रहे हैं कि 12 बजे तक आपको असाइनमेंट देना है और 11:59 पे आप उसको टिक इन कर रहे हैं, राइट? तो थोड़ा सा प्लानिंग अगर कर देंगे तो लाइफ ज्यादा इजी हो जाएगा. यस, स्ट्रेस डज एनहांस परफॉर्मेंस इन शॉर्ट टर्म, but I would rather plan my life in a way that I'm enjoying what I'm doing and I'm delivering because I'm enjoying, I'm passionate about what I'm delivering, not because somebody is stressing me out for it.
Yes, sir. That was the very accurate answer to the question. So I know we have taken a lot of your time. It was a 1 hour session and it's already 7:30 up. So, sir, is there anything that you would like to add or something that you would conclude with it?
No, any final question that you might have? I have a couple of things that I want to share with you, final note, but anything else, then fine. We'll just take one question.
No, sir, the questions are repeating now. We have answered all the questions, so I don't see any other questions. So if you want to add up anything to it.
Acha. See, when I say happy, I told you already, it is that mindset that I want all of you to have, right? And remember that the best way to live life is, how do I see my capabilities and nurture them instead of worrying about what others have. The reason, एक question पहले मुझसे शेयर किया गया था कि young generation mostly is living in stress. What is stress? When we feel that my resources are less than the requirements that I have in my life. When pressure to perform is greater than the resources you have, you feel stressed. Right? So one of the things we have to learn is that happiness की simplest definition is reality minus expectation is equal to happiness. जब हम लोग एक्सपेक्ट ज्यादा करते हैं, रियलिटी में हमें कम मिलता है, तो हम स्ट्रेस हो जाते हैं. जब एक्सपेक्टेशन से ज्यादा रियलिटी होती है, हम लोग खुश हो जाते हैं. तो खुश रहने का एक बहुत सिंपल तरीका क्या है कि एक्सपेक्टेशंस को मैनेज करना और रियलिटी के लिए अपने एक्शंस को प्योरीफाई करना कि रियलिटी जो है एक्सपेक्टेशन से बेटर हो जाए, है ना. एंड फ्यू टाइम्स वी हैव टू लर्न दिस आर्ट ऑफ एक्सेप्टिंग द आउटकम, जो गीता में इतना लंबा चौड़ा करके कहा गया, वो है we should understand that we should put our efforts, that is our action. We have control our actions. A circumstance happens, a situation happens. Our control, our only opportunity is to think, feel, act rightfully and respond to this situation. Once that response is done, we don't have control over the result. Result is multiple other things also. तो अब जो भी आउटकम होती है, आपने बहुत जबरदस्त पढ़ा, लेकिन अगले दिन बाई चांस वो क्वेश्चन सही से नहीं कर पाए या वो क्वेश्चन नहीं आया या नया क्वेश्चन आ गया, how easily you can set up your mind to accept the outcome and move on will define how happily or less stressed you will live in life. Right? You got that ना? तो आसान नहीं है, सुलभ सा suggestion है. It's very easy suggestion but difficult to implement. But our capability to accept what we cannot control and what we cannot influence defines how happy and less stressful you are going to live in your life. Right? Now, once again, our capability to understand what is in my control and what is not, that will come with the wisdom, that will come with the ideas that will come. मैं आपको last story सुनाना चाहता हूँ, because many of my friends listening today might be from rural background, और एक सबसे बड़ी दिक्कत जो हम लोगों की रहती है वो है communication skills. And when I do programs with the students who have studied in regional languages, मुझे कहा जाता है कि सबसे बड़ी frustration है when we know but we cannot express ourselves. So let me share my story with you. I want to leave you with that story. I grew up in a small town in Himachal, Solan, and I'm a product of a government school. My parents were both government school teachers. एंड फिफ्थ तक तो मतलब बैठने के लिए कुछ भी होता था, जमीन पे भी बैठे हैं, दरियों पे भी बैठे हैं, पेड़ के नीचे बैठ के भी क्लासेस हुई हैं. एंड आई वाज वेरी फ्रस्ट्रेटेड. आई यूज्ड टू टेल डैड कि हमको आपने इंग्लिश मीडियम स्कूल में क्यों नहीं डाला, और उनको लगता था कि ट्रांसफरेबल जॉब है तो कहाँ कहाँ सब जगह नहीं होते हैं स्कूल्स. सो व्हेन आई वाज इन 9th आई गॉट एन अपॉर्चुनिटी टू कम टू बेंगलोर फॉर स्काउट कैंप. इट्स कॉल्ड जम्बूरी एंड इट वाज अ इंटरनेशनल स्काउट कैंप. तो पूरे हिमाचल से स्टूडेंट आए थे. आई वाज वन ऑफ देम. And in Bangalore, I was chosen to lead the boys contingent for Himachal. And there was a very smart girl from St. Beats, from Shimla, and she was going to lead. No, St. Beats nahi. One of the convent schools. So 10th mein, मैं 9th में था उस time. She was going to lead the girls contingent, and both of us were selected to go. उस time राजीव गांधी जी प्राइम मिनिस्टर होते थे. And this is that pre-access of information era. TV पे भी देखना प्राइम मिनिस्टर को was a big deal. But seeing प्राइम मिनिस्टर in person was like overwhelming. तो जब मैं मार्च पास में सामने से निकले तो it was a wow कि मेरे साथ उनकी जीप की फोटो आई है. That was a big deal. Now we got an opportunity कि आपका एक ग्रुप डिस्कशन में पार्टिसिपेट करिए, and 20 of the students would be picked to have lunch with Shri Rajiv Gandhi ji, Prime Minister of India. You can imagine what kind of opportunity is that. है ना, जहां पे आपको इंटरनेट नहीं है, जहां पे आप देखते भी नहीं हो ज्यादातर कौन है प्राइम मिनिस्टर एंड ऑल दैट. Very excited. So now we are going towards the group discussion. I still remember. So I asked this girl, हिंदी में बोलूंगा तो चलेगा ना? And she looks at me with that disdain and say, it's a national conference, international conference. No. And you are representing Himachal, you have to speak in English. तो वहीं से stress शुरू हो गया. And I'm planning right from there. And those of you who have studied in regional languages, you know, किसी से मिलना होता है तो we have to do a pre-translation. मैं ये कहूंगा, फिर वो कहेगा, फिर मैं ये कहूंगा, और वो पूरा चेन बनना होता है. So we got into this room जहां पे अब group discussion शुरू हो रहा था. And this young kid, probably 4 feet of height, he was leading this conversation. And the way he was speaking English, I had only seen in movies, and most of it I could not understand. And he was so refined in the way he was speaking. तो बारी बारी से सबसे पूछ रहा था क्वेश्चन कि ना यूथ एम्पावरमेंट के लिए आप क्या करेंगे. Mine was 7th number. You can imagine what kind of stress was building up कि मुझे भी बोलना पड़ेगा, और मैं पूरा प्लान कर रहा हूं मुझे क्या क्या बोलना है. अच्छे से प्लान कर लिया मैंने. तो छठे पे आया तो हृदय की धड़कनें जो है डबल हो गई. And 7th, so he says, Mr. Bhardwaj, so what would you say? What should we be doing for youth empowerment in India? और जितना भी मैंने ट्रांसलेशन किया था वो सब का सब कहीं एक्सप्लोड हो गया. एंड द ओनली थिंग आई कुड स्पीक अप, बट ब्रेन स्टिल, आई थिंक दिमाग था, हाँ, ओनली थिंग आई कुड स्पीक वर 2 words. No comments. That was the English I could speak. Can you imagine one of the greatest opportunity that time to meet Prime Minister of India in a group discussion? Only thing I could speak was no comments. And you can imagine this girl was there, and that information flew in the whole camp कि ये भेजा था, you know, हिमाचल को represent करने के लिए जिसने no comments बोला. You can imagine how my rest of the trip was, and after coming back, my dad saw what is happening here. So he asked me what happened. So I said, आपकी गलती क्यों है जो आपने मुझे अंग्रेजी स्कूल में नहीं डाला, देखो मेरे साथ क्या हो गया. So he said, see, what has happened is fine, but learn from it. What do you want to do? And that's the day when I said, I'm going to one day make money speaking English. And I'm in front of you. So dreams do come true. So आप जो भी हैं, जहां पे भी, question is, when some event like that happens, what do you do? Do you allow that circumstance, that event, that person, that institution to crush your dream? Or do you become resilient? Do you feel angry, frustrated, and curse? Or do you, like महात्मा गांधी, जब उनको ट्रेन से बाहर फेंक दिया गया, उन्होंने पत्थर उठा के फेंका नहीं, गालियां नहीं दी, उन्होंने उस गुस्से को इंटरनलाइज किया, and he made that anger to be his greatest inspiration and motivational force. I hope you can remember this for your life. When somebody, some event, person, institution tries to crush you down, see how you can sow seeds of inspiration, motivation to excel, to show to yourself that you can. That would be the greatest gift, Guru Dakshina, you can give to me. And when I will receive your email के सर आपने जो बताया था उसमें से मैं ये पार्ट यूज कर सकी या कर सका अपनी लाइफ में, I would be a happy man. When I see all of you, I have this positive creative jealousy because I have lived my life now, half of it at least. So the canvas of my life is already painted half. I have already put all the colors and already decided what it's going to be, what my masterpiece is going to be. I can make minor modification, but I cannot change it because it's canvas of life. All of you out there listening to me, you are so lucky your canvas of life is blank right in front of you. आप rest of the years NIT में बिताएंगे या further education institution में बिताएंगे, remember this analogy that you are the painter on canvas of your own life. जब आप institutions में रहोगे या ऐसे कोई lectures को attend करोगे, don't do it because of you have to sit there. You are investing the most precious resource of your life, your time. Demand from the speaker that he or she gives you value for your time of life that you're investing. If the person is boring, if I'm boring, then you ask right questions so that you get value worth of your time. I hope you'll remember this thought. So when you are sitting in these sessions, use these sessions to collect colors. Learn from people, hopefully like me, what kind of brushes you need to use on the canvas of your life. I hope you will invest this time of your education, Brahmacharya Ashram, to collect all those tools, learn what kind of colors to paint, which colors go together, how to create a beautiful masterpiece on the canvas of your life. Leonardo da Vinci ने probably 5,000 रुपए के कैनवस पे 10,000 रुपए के कलर लगा के मोनालिसा को पेंट कर दिया, जिसकी आज मार्केट वैल्यू 600 करोड़ है. If he could do something like this on a lifeless canvas, just imagine what all of you and I can do on our canvas of life. I wish all of you a very happy, joyful life. Please stay connected with me. arunb.com is my website, arunb.com. My email is arunb@arunb.com. So you run between A and B. A, run B. So you run between A and B to find me at arunb.com. Stay in touch, stay connected with me on Facebook, The Arun B, THEARUNB, one word, no space. Same on Instagram also, The Arun B. And keep sharing your experiences. But I would love to hear from all of you who are listening. How did you like what connected with you? And when you apply some of these in your life, whatever, whether it helped you or not helped you, provide me your feedback. So when I am meeting next set of youngsters, I can share your learnings also along with mine. So in the end, my mission in life is to help uncover your greatness and leave you happier than I found you. I hope I was able to be successful in living my mission in this session as well. Thank you very much, all of you, and wish you a very happy, joyful life.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. So really, like you said, like you're leaving us happier. Personally, I am happier than I was before this session. And I hope it continues. All the knowledge that you've shared with us will remain there forever. Because this wasn't some technical talk where we are given कि अच्छा ये lecture है, notes बना लेना and stuff. This is something that will help us throughout life. And it was so knowledgeable and so helpful for everyone. Also, I'm sure you're going to see a hike in your socials right now since you shared your platforms, and I'm quite sure about that. So, sir, not taking much of your time, I'd like to call upon Harshita for the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Divyam sir. Stories of hillfare and happiness have filled our hearts with content. An evening so insightful was nothing less than paradise. But like all good things, this session too has to come to an end. Still, isn't the end of the day just a new dawn in disguise? It is my privilege to propose a vote of thanks and acknowledge the contribution of those who worked hard to make today's day such a sterling success. Dr. Bhardwaj, saying that it was an honor to have you with us might sound like an understatement, for today's session was the epitome of a life-changing experience. We cannot thank you enough for sharing such insightful anecdotes and bits of wisdom. Further, I'd like to thank our institutional authorities for the spectacular opportunity to conduct this interview. A big thank you to the host, co-host, and the interviewer as well for putting forth such an interactive session. Lastly, I would like to thank our wonderful audience, who always cheers us up with its gusto, and whose zest remains unstirred by the online conduction of this event. I'll now put a halt to my words and bid you all goodbye. With just one day remaining to dive into Nimbus, we hope your technical fervor is remarkably escalated. We wish to see you all with your best foot forward. Thank you and have a great time ahead.